right, in this problem they give us the first term, the common ratio, and the sum. What we don't know is how many terms there are. Got it? When they're asking you for the number of terms, you know it must be a partial series, meaning that it ends somewhere. There needs to be a finite number of terms, otherwise they wouldn't be asking you for how many terms there are. If there was an infinite number of terms, they wouldn't ask you to find the number of terms because it would be infinite. You get that? In terms of what they're asking for. So the missing thing is n. What's n and how do we find it? So we're going to use the formula for a finite geometric series. And that goes like this. The sum equals. It starts with u1 over 1 minus r, just like the old formula did from section 9.2. u1 over 1 minus r. If it was infinite, that's all it would be. The sum would be the first term divided by 1 minus the ratio. But this one is finite, meaning that it stops somewhere. When it stops, you got to put the stopper on the top, and you have 1 minus r to the n up there. How do I know that? I memorized it, because we've done so many of these problems that I just know that that goes there. All right? So what do we do next? Plug in what we know, solve for what we don't know. They tell us the sum is 6.7232. They tell us the first term is 2. And they tell us the r is 0.8. What they don't give us is the n. So I'm going to place everything in for what we know. The next step, I think the easiest way to do these when you're solving for the n, calculate what 1 minus 0.8 is. It's 0.2. And then do that division on the right side. You have 2 divided by 0.2. 2 divided by 0.2.
One student said 10.
Good job. All right, so we have 10 times 1 minus 0.8 to the n. We're still solving for n. We did 1 minus 0.8, it was 0.2. We did 2 divided by 0.2, it was 10. See that 10? Not for long. Let's get rid of it. Divide both sides by 10. What is 6 point something divided by 10? 0.67232. See that 1? Subtract it. Subtract 1 from both sides. When you take away 1 from a little decimal, you get another little decimal, but negative. Alright? That negative decimal is going to be 0.32768 equals negative 0.8 to the n. I'm almost out of Post-it note. Time for a new one. Alright? See how both sides are negative? In any problem that you ever do in math, if you get to the point where both sides are negative, drop the negatives. It's like dividing both sides by negative 1. If you don't get rid of the negative sign at this point, you won't be able to do logs, because you'll be trying to log a negative which is not in the domain. You can't log a negative number. So when both sides are negative, drop the negative. In math, Algebra 2, Unit 5, back in December/January, we learned when you're trying to solve for the exponent, you log it. You can either log both sides, or you can rewrite it in log form. It's up to you. In any case, the n would be the log of 0.32768 divided by the log of 0.8. You should get 5. If you get a decimal, round it up. Because n, the number of terms, can't be a decimal. You can't have 4.9 terms in a series. There would have to be 5. So the n must be 5.